We gonna get into something cool, man. It's something I've been wanting to talk about for a little while. Took me by surprise. For real. Now, I don't know if you are aware that around Christmas time, they dropped a um, trailer, a teaser trailer for a movie that will be coming out this Christmas. So, this is like the first time in a while that they've talked about a movie this far in advance. So, in 1985, a movie came out. It's called Return of the Living Dead. It was a classic. That movie, I always say that Zack Snyder took inspiration from that movie when he did Army of the Dead because the beats of the movie are pretty much the same. In the beginning, the military makes a mistake and this thing gets out and it affects this whole town. The military becomes aware and they have to contain it to that town. The zombies in the movie are relatively intelligent. They can speak, they can do things. They still have memory like just regular people. They crave brains. This is where brains, all that stuff, that's where it came from. This series. They crave the brains, they eat brains because it helps them deal with the pain of decaying. So the initial zombie that started the whole thing in the first movie, Tar Man. The original zombie was called the Tar Man. Okay. Now, in the trailer for the upcoming movie, I believe what we see, because it's not a close up, but it's close enough. I believe what we're seeing is Tar Man dragging a Christmas tree down the street, down a snowy street. Now, on the trailer, it says 1985. So I'm thinking that it's going to be kind of a retro type of movie. It's going to take place in the 80s. So it's going to be a remake of that original story. That's what I'm thinking. And I will be fine with that. I'm okay with that. In the movie, we had some really cool cast members. Clu Gulager, who was the father in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. He was also the bartender in the Three Feast movies, if you've seen that crazy shit. Then we have Don Calfa playing Ernie. He was a good actor. Linnea, I think it's Linnea, Linnea Quigley. We got Mrs. Quigley. Her name is Trash. She walks around the movie looking good. And then we have good old Tom Matthews. Tom Matthews played Tommy in Friday the 13th, Part 6. He was awesome. Some of these characters return in the second movie. They play different people, but some of them go through similar things. James Karen, who was one of the morticians in the first movie, along with Tom Matthews, who was a new worker in that first movie. He was showing them the ropes. They both returned for the second movie, and they're different characters. This took off and became a pretty special thing. As I was saying about Army of the Dead, in that movie, the military makes a mistake at the beginning. The thing gets out. It starts to affect the entire town. They have to contain it to the town. And then some of the zombies are kind of smart, just like in Army of the Dead. And then at the end of the movie, they drop a bomb on the city to end the whole thing. So I'm the one that's always talking about Zack Snyder makes modern day 80s movies, and I love it. To get treated to this year for Christmas, to me is a big deal. I think this is really awesome. I'm glad they're going back to this. Let me go over and take a look at, since I'm looking at all the information for the original movie, let me go see what is going on with the 2025 version. So here it is, the synopsis for the upcoming Return of the Living Dead. Taking place 18 months after the events of the Unida. Unida what? Unida warehouse? It's UNEEDA, all capitalized, warehouse in Louisville, Kentucky, a new Trioxin-245 leak puts a small Pennsylvania town on the brink of a zombie outbreak. Christmas 1985. So that's pretty cool right there. It's a little different. It's a little bit different. It looks like it took some time for this leak or whatever to get out there. Trioxin, T virus, whatever. Trioxin 245. This leak affects things, brings back the dead and all that. Then you're just running. Cuz these zombies, they're not fast or anything, but they can think. I mean, it's hard enough to deal with a zombie horde, but a zombie horde that's capable of thought, that's even worse. And that was one of the things they were dealing with at the end of The Walking Dead with the variants. They started to change. I mean, in the first season, they were picking up rocks and turning doorknobs, and then all of a sudden they stopped doing that. But then in season 11, they went back to doing that. They were climbing ladders, they were picking up rocks and turning doorknobs, doing all kinds of things. So to get back to a thinking zombie movie, you can do a lot with that. You know, this is a horror movie, and horror is shining these days. So they could do some things with this that we haven't seen before. The only thing that's out right now is a trailer. So I'm going to leave that in the description box so you can click on it and take a look. Anybody that's a fan of these movies is going to really appreciate it. I apologize that it's taken me this long to get around to talking about it, but to me, it's a big deal. I think it's great that they're bringing this back. I hope we get a couple of these movies, but at the same time, I just hope they're good. I want to add something to this. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. This is what they're saying. More brains. New Return of the Living Dead zombie film in the works for Christmas 2025. Living Dead Media CEO Stephen Walsh, who will direct from his own screenplay, calls this a brand new adventure that he's envisioning as an extension of the franchise's legacy. So to me, that already sounds great. Sounds like they're starting off right. The Living Dead are ready to make a big return next year. This is from last year, this article. Living Dead Media has revealed that a new Return of the Living Dead film is due in 2025, a year that marks the milestone 40th anniversary of the 1985 horror cult classic. In doing so, the company and its CEO, Steve Walsh, have confirmed details about the project and teased it with a holiday-themed trailer. The clip, which dropped today or back then, not coincidentally on Friday the 13th, features the franchise's spooky Tarman. So I was right about that. It's Tarman, emerging in a snow-covered cemetery, dragging a Christmas tree across the landscape as a rendition of Silent Night helps set the mood. The teaser does its job by announcing a Christmas 2025 planned release. Per a press release obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, Living Dead Media confirms that the project won't be a reboot of the original, but a new installment in the beloved horror comedy franchise. It's set in a small Pennsylvania town in Christmas 1985, 18 months after the events of the original film. That's awesome. Because part two wasn't necessarily a continuation of the first movie. It was like kind of like Evil Dead 2. It kind of redid it. It just redid the whole thing. I mean, they blew up the town in the first one. So they was going to have to do something different in the second movie. So it's set in a small Pennsylvania town of Christmas 1985, 18 months after the events of the original film, which was directed by Dan O'Bannon. The film followed the unfortunate events that ensued after two bumbling employees at the Unita Medical Supply warehouse accidentally released a deadly gas into the air, which led the dead to rise as zombies, infecting the entire town and inadvertently sealing its fate. Like I said, they blew that thing off the map at the end of the movie, just like they did Las Vegas in Army of the Dead. So Walsh, who would direct from his own screenplay, calls this a brand new adventure that he's envisioning as an extension of the franchise's legacy. As for the teaser, the release states that it was produced with practical effects on location without CGI or use of a green screen. Oh man, I'm loving this more and more. Oh my goodness, this is great. The cemetery was designed to pay homage to Resurrection Cemetery from the original. Utilizing our widescreen anamorphic lenses, we captured the practical snow effect swirling against the night sky that gives it an amazing look and texture. It's going to blow people away. See an entire film made like this, says Walsh. I believe that. A diehard fan and steward of the zombie-filled world. Thank you, Mr. Walsh, for doing this, because man, it's been a long time. We've been asking for it. And they're working on Gremlins 3, and I'm hearing that it's going the same way. So, Mr. Steve Walsh, thank you, because we do definitely appreciate it. The franchise already includes 5 films. The 1985 installment, followed by sequels, 1988's Return of the Living Dead with Ken Wiederhorn, 1993's Return of the Living Dead 3 with Brian Usna. Now, part 3 was cool because the girl was hot. We all remember that. Like the people that watched the movies remember that. But after that, movies became a little rough, a little difficult to watch. They weren't as good as the other ones. I made it through them, but I really don't remember much about them. Return of the Living Dead Necropolis from Elroy Elkayam, and 2005's Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave, also directed by Elkayam. And I wasn't too big on those ones. Tom Fox produced or executive produced all of the aforementioned titles. His son Christopher W. Fox will executive produce the new installment, keeping it in the family. I really like that. Other details the team confirmed: special effects veteran Tony Gardner, Zombieland, Hocus Pocus 2, and Chucky, has been tapped to establish the zombie look for 2025's Return of the Living Dead, to be able to up the horror, but be true to its roots. I feel like I'm the perfect person for the job, he said in a statement, and I'm really excited. And so am I, bro. Thank you very much for just, doing this and doing a return to form on all this stuff. We absolutely want it. As horror fans and things like that, we want that. Just like him, I'm excited about it. Other details on the creative team and production schedule are expected to be announced in the coming months. That's the article, and they're just breaking down what they know about. You heard it. They're breaking down what they know about the movie. And this is awesome for anybody who's fans of this franchise. If you didn't know anything about this movie, I hope you spread the word, because I want this movie to be good as much as I want it to be successful. Like I say, man, it's important to get the word out early. And they dropped that trailer on Friday the 13th in December. I apologize it took me this long to get around to talking about it, but we need to spread the word so people know that this is coming out this year. I think it's going to smash, and I'm really looking forward to this. Tarman is back. That's dope, bro. Man, tell your friends, tell everybody, hey, share this video. And till next time, check out some more videos. You guys take it easy. Thanks for listening.
Community slash send more paramedics.